Welcome to our new unit, and we're going to start today the first section talking about something called ATP. But first, let me ask you, what do cells need? Why do they need energy? For what purposes? And here are a few examples of things that are only possible with the use of energy. Growth, cell division, repair, muscle movement, chemical reactions of all kinds, warmth. Cells need energy in order to do all of these different things. So it's another really important thing to talk about. How do they get that energy? Where does it come from? How do they use it? Well, ATP. It's a funny sounding word. It stands for the molecule adenosine triphosphate. And here is the chemical structure of ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. It has a segment attached to it called adenine. It has a ribose molecule, and it has 3 phosphate groups. Here's 1, 2, and 3 phosphate groups that are attached to the end. So since this is pretty complicated, these are all the different atoms involved in creating this compound. And we're going to shorten this a little bit, just for our purposes, into this format. We're going to use this big capital A to represent all of this part of the molecule. And then we're going to use these circles with a P in it to represent each of the phosphate groups. So here's our A and then triphosphate, ATP. Adenosine triphosphate, ATP. When we start with an ATP molecule, that molecule can be broken down into a different molecule called ADP, adenosine diphosphate, with just 2 phosphates attached. And then this other phosphate is, the bond has been broken and it is free from this molecule. In the process of breaking this bond and releasing one of the phosphate molecules, energy is released. So if a cell needs energy, it can break one of these bonds and get energy that way. So can this process be reversed? Absolutely it can. The really neat thing about ATP and ADP is that we can go either direction with this reaction. If a cell has energy that it can store, well, it can start with an ADP molecule, add a phosphate to it, put in some energy that it would like to store, put that energy into creating another bond here, and we get the molecule ATP. In this molecule, energy is stored. It's stored in the bonds between the phosphate groups. So, if a cell needs to use energy for something, a phosphate bond can be broken and energy can be released. And conversely, if a cell has energy to store, a phosphate bond can be added right here, and that energy can be stored within the ATP molecule itself. And then it can be, the bond can again be broken, the reaction reversed, and we can have energy released to use for things that the cell needs the energy for. So if you're looking for a 4, come up with some creative ideas. Here are a few ideas I had. Can you find some specific cellular reactions that use ATP? What are some specific cellular reactions that create ATP from ADP? Those are interesting things to find out, and we'll see you in class.